Good blessed Tuesday night, March the 12th, 2022. It's about 8:05 p.m. I greet all human beings all around the world with the universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. Doesn't matter whether you're the richest or the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter whether you are the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't even matter whether you like me or like anything I do. That's your prerogative. You got that right. I still greet you with that universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. I want to start off saying tonight I went to a Charleston, Missouri city council meeting at City Hall tonight. I made it there about 6. It was kind of early, wasn't nobody there. The chief of police let me in about 6:15, and I was in there by myself until about 6:30. I went there initially to observe. And before, when me and my 2 young daughters went some years ago, we was the only blacks in there. Tonight, the previous NAACP president of the Charleston, Missouri NAACP chapter, he was there. The present NAACP president and another member was there, and it was another brother that was there that was had his business, and he was speaking about getting his business license reinstated. I liked the way he stood up and spoke. I thought the NAACP was going to speak. I'm a member, but you know, me and my 2 daughters, we consider ourselves independent because we don't have any help from any chapter. But they asked, did anybody have anything that they wanted to bring to the city council that's not on the agenda? So I stood up and I told them that I did. And I told them what my business was. And my business was this letter that I got that I told you all about before, if you can see where it's from, the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority. And you can see here it's from Paul Page, and if you look at the letter period, it has nothing to do with City Hall. It has nothing to do with the police department. Has nothing to do with the prosecuting attorney. Has nothing to do with the city of Charleston, Missouri city attorney, sheriff department, or courts, or anything. Their names is mentioned in here, but it's nothing legally bound about this letter that a police officer should have brought it to me in a letter that's unsealed, serving it to me for the Charleston, Missouri Housing Authority, which is a different entity. The Housing Authority executive director get paid by the federal government, HUD. The police officer who brought this letter, he get paid by the city of Charleston, Missouri. Now, I had previously talked to the city manager one-on-one about almost 3 weeks or so ago when I got this letter. And I asked him, he was a gentleman to me and I was a gentleman to him. I asked him, after I explained to him about this letter and let him see it, I said, what reason would this police officer bring me this letter? He said that the police officer didn't have any really authorization or any authority to bring me a letter from the housing authority, because he don't work for the housing authority, which I agree. Most other people that's not even in Charleston, Missouri agree. Most former police officers, they agree. Now in this meeting tonight, let me show you why this police officer, Mark Higgins, who was rejected as a chief of police down in East Prairie, Missouri. I told y'all he went from Charleston, Missouri, from a police officer to East Prairie, Missouri, to run for the chief of police, which he won. And then when it was time to be reelected, a dispatcher that he hired ran against him, a female, and beat him. She beat him, sent him and his captain that he brought from down here, an officer, brought him back down here as officer. But let me show you why this man doing what he doing now. I'm in the city council meeting, and here it is. When I addressed it to city council about this letter, the mayor's here. I think they stayed in office here for a year. The mayor that was the mayor, they changed over today, but before he changed over today and handed down to another city council meeting, but the mayor that was the mayor today, he's now a city council meeting a member, and the other member, he's the mayor today. But the one that was the mayor before they handed over, to me, he was a gentleman. I don't know nothing about him. You see what I'm saying? And I'm gonna stop saying everybody down there is corrupt in City Hall. But this mayor and that city council, city manager, both of them said, they asked Bobby Hearn, first the mayor asked Bobby Hearn, do you know anything about it? He said, yeah, I heard something about it. He ain't just heard something about it, he know about it. Hey, how y'all doing? All right, y'all have a good one, man. Y'all know y'all got a champion in the middle of y'all, don't y'all? Do they know that? Yes, sir. All right, y'all have a nice one. But anyway, he asked Bobby, Robert Hearns, the chief of police, did he know anything about it? And he said, yeah. And then, here it is, Bobby Hearns and this one female, Tabitha, I don't know what her last name is, but she's the city attorney. Now let me tell you what both of them said. They said opposite of what the mayor and the city manager, they boss. That go to show you, they boss said that he had no business. That has nothing to do with the city, nothing at all. The city manager and the mayor is the boss of Robert Hearns and the boss of this city, Charleston city attorney. She gonna say, yeah, they do that occasionally, and I interrupt. I said, no, there ain't nothing legally bound about it. And then here's Bobby Hearns did the same thing that this NAACP national chapter president did in Southern Illinois University, SIU, yesterday. Tried to interrupt me. He told me, well, that's it. Your 3 minutes is up. Ain't that something? But I kept quiet for a minute, and then the city attorney, Bobby Hearns, the chief of police, they trying to say that this is something that they do. If you do it, it's illegal. The mayor know the law. The city manager know the law. That's why they above both of y'all. That should give them a notion. If y'all said that this is all right, what else is y'all saying all right? They only complaints was Bobby Hearns and that city attorney. They only complaints was about black people. You see what I'm saying? That was their only complaint. And I don't knock the white people that's trying to get stuff done in their community, because there was enough blacks in there from the NAACP. You see what I'm saying? These two female twins that got businesses running around here. Ain't none of them spoke up. about nothing. So they don't see no complaints about what's going on. But let me go back to this here letter. Now, if Robert Hearns, the chief of police, and the city attorney say that wasn't nothing wrong with this police bringing this is something that they do, and Bobby Hearns said the housing authority director can bar who he want to bar from the housing. How do you know what they can do? Have you ever been an executive director of the housing authority? Do you know the federal law on the housing authority? Apparently you don't. Your mayor know, and your city manager know, but they should know today. You and that city attorney gonna end up getting y'all a boss lawsuit and probably gonna bankrupt y'all. You see what I'm saying? For breaking the law. And then you're gonna have the audacity to try to ask me, do I have complaints about other people in my neighborhood? No, I don't have no complaint about nothing on my block. I told them my complaint was 302 Wall House, the White family. I said, I'm sure you've seen the video of all them people coming down to attack me came from there. And he shook his head, yeah, but you ain't did a doggone thing about it. You know why? Because you don't care. All you care about is complain about black folks. And this ain't about every white person down there, because I seen the mayor and the city manager seen what I seen, and seen what any righteous person, any person that's standing on the law see, that this letter has nothing to do, nowhere in this letter has anything to do. Why you think the sheriff's department didn't bring it to me? Why you think ain't no court order was made? Why didn't you think the city attorney went to the prosecuting attorney? She probably did, and the prosecuting attorney told ain't a doggone thing I can do unless he come up here and file a complaint. And I would have went to court with him. He'll see my complaint just like the city attorney and Robert Hearns will probably see something from the Human Rights Commissions too, because I think what they did was racism. I think what they did was unjust. I think what they did was illegal. And let me tell y'all one other thing. People have been calling me about the meeting that me and my youngest daughter went to in Southern Illinois with the national chapter of the NAACP, Derrick Johnson. A lot of people didn't like what he did. A lot of people didn't like the way he responded to me. I didn't either. You see what I'm saying? But God got him. God done let the other people see that man ain't standing. You know, when he left that particular meeting, he went to the library of the SIU campus library, and he met with, guess what? 90% white people. Some black people that I know went over there and tried to talk to him. He didn't have time to talk to him. You know why he ain't got time to talk to him? Because you can see the way he was talking. People got up in line before me, was talking about the violence, the black on black crime in Carbondale and other places. They got to talking about other things where they having problems with the prosecuting attorney in Jackson County, Illinois, which is governs Carbondale. He told them that happens every place. You got to be able to be consistent and stand up against these people. Even if you stand alone, God gonna be with y'all. Derrick Johnson don't give a doggone about black folks like us. He'll go to the university with all these people with these degrees, doctorate degrees. What sense to having a doctorate degree and you ain't doing a doggone thing for the community? You helping people out that's committing crime like Jesse Smoggin, or whatever his name is. You going every place where you see publicity is at. But here it is, Brian Lamont Johns was found hung on Friday, March 19, 2021. And you don't see nothing wrong. You said I need to get an attorney. If I could have got an attorney, I wouldn't have wasted my time to come down to Carbondale and speak to you. Some of us can't afford attorneys. But you don't care. But you seen what my young 15-year-old daughter told you. We know you don't care. And back to here to Charleston, Missouri. If you want to be heard, you got to let the people know. You see, I had a misunderstanding about all the people downtown. All of them ain't on that same page. Because if the mayor was, he would have said, I don't want to hear that mess. If the city manager was, he would have said, I don't want to hear that mess. But they stood up in front of Bobby Hearns, the chief of police, who running on his family name. That city attorney, I don't know who name she running on, but I know she helping Charleston, Missouri to be able to get a boss lawsuit. You wondering why that woman in Tennessee sued Charleston, Missouri Police Department and suing Mississippi County because her son died in the Mississippi County jail because of some police officers that's up under the guidance of Bobby Robert Hearns attacked this brother. They got away with murder, but they attacked this brother. Rejects come from other places and come right here on the Charleston, Missouri Police Department. That's why they hand stuff around here today. You know where this guy, Mark Higgins, was today when I came down to City Hall? He was at the dispatcher desk. You see what I'm saying? I asked him where's the meeting at, and Robert Hearns was there, and he said, you know, he gonna cover for Hearns. You know why Hearns covering for him? Because Hearns is crooked, Hearns is white, Higgins is white. The family that I was complaining about down here is white, but he had the audacity to ask me, do I have any complaints about somebody on my block? No, I ain't got no complaints about him. I told you what my complaints was. You seen it on my YouTube video, but you ain't worried about that because that's whites and blacks against a black man that speak up against you racist and you sell out blacks. Last thing I want to say, the former NAACP president who was at this last meeting that my two daughters went to on April the 4th, he came in the meeting. I've been to 3 meetings before the April the 4th one, and he didn't come into none. Now one of them, but after I got banned, he came, and he came in there telling them they need to speak up about them moving the voting to the white Methodist church here in Charleston, Missouri, and out of the black neighborhood. But he was at the city council meeting. Guess what? He didn't say a word. The other blacks didn't say a word. The only one said something is me and another black guy who's trying to defend his, get his business license back. I just want to give y'all an update. Things that you don't see. You see what I'm saying? Another thing, what I want to read is, I'm going to make sure I can see it good. This is the mission of the NAACP. The mission of the NAACP is to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of rights of all persons and to eliminate racial hatred and racial discrimination. That's their mission. Get a close-up on that. That's the NAACP mission. Now, all of them people seeing them people attacking me on my YouTube videos. NAACP members at this meeting, I didn't even bring it up because I done already put it in the Human Rights Commission. I asked the chief of police, did he see it? He said he's seen it. But he ain't worried about the people that's attacking me that was felons coming from the housing authority projects. He worried about, he told that they asked him, did he know about this letter? And he said, yeah, Paul Page asked us to serve that. If he knew about this letter and the mayor said that it has nothing to do with the city and the city manager said it had nothing to do with the city, they know they have an incompetent police chief, they have an incompetent attorney, and they need to get rid of both of them. Peace be still.